So pretty. And then we're going to go ahead and click. And welcome to the remaining emails that Thatch didn't read on the main show. I brought Whimsicott, though, so it's a good time. And I still have a P. McGee.
Hello.
So I just want to read these because they were really good. And, I wanted some kind of format for this, and this is, actually the perfect week for all of this. So I love it. So our first email is from Coil Builder. Hey, guys, Coil Builder here. I wanted to throw a couple things out there about this week's topic. First, looking back at what already exists, I gotta say that one of the most relevant game changers to me have been the breeding/training improvements in Swish. I know, Thatch, and I agree. This is probably my second least favorite gen, cough, Gen 7, cough. But it's made the competitive scene so accessible compared to past gens. I don't rank gens, except for Gen 4 and put it on a pedestal. And Gen 2.
We average out.
Those are those two things. I and then everything else is yeah, they're Pokemon games. To me, that's how it is. I'm just always looking for that thing that's gonna usurp Gen 2 or Gen 4 in my mind. That's kind of what it is. Now looking forward, I have two coinciding suggestions for TPCI. Give us spectator mode and online play. I mean, come on already. Also, there's a tournament hosting capability in game, but they all run like an IC. If they could enable a bracket system and give us options for Swiss double elimination, etc., this would bring a whole new level of playability to everyone out there. I don't know if you know this, Coil Builder, but they've had that for years. It was in Gen 7, and I think it was in Gen 6 to a smaller extent. Also, another idea, customizable format rules so we can remove the timers for OU buddies out there. Please and thank you. Yes, please. I think all these together would massively improve the competitive scene. Anyways, that's all. Catch you on the flippity, Coil Builder. Oh, actually, they read the mailbag question as game changers, and that's not what the mailbag question was. But yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. People read the title and assume that the topic is just the mailbag question. And it wasn't.
They're right 98%.
They're 98% of the time. I just had this random idea. I'm let's do it. It'd be fun. But thank you for that, Coil Builder. What's next? Who else do we have after Coil Builder? I think we have sleeves. Yeah, we have sleeves. Do you want sleeves? Does somebody want sleeves? That's not me.
I want her.
Okay, do it.
All right. Hello, PUCL Podcast. It's me, Trainer Sleeves, who couldn't go on a daily walk today because it was too rainy.
That
but
sucks.
Who needs to worry about missing a day of walking when I could be sitting here in my pajamas writing about this amazing prompt this week?
True story. True story.
Oh. I was very late into the Pokemon franchise, being a Gen 6 baby, if you will. At this point in my life, I was very awkward and I didn't have many friends. But I didn't know at the time that buying a copy of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire was going to give me one. My first Pokemon was Muddy the Mudkip, which sounds unoriginal, but it works much better now that he's a Swampert. Since then, I was invested into the Pokemon franchise, but I was only a beginner, so I pronounced all the names wrong and didn't give a crap about sending in Rayquaza to the Glacier rematch. Ouch.
Oof.
But I slowly but surely learned all the names in my type matchups, thank God, and I started meeting other people who were Gen 7 babies. They were new to Pokemon and asked me, whom they saw as a seasoned trainer, even though at the time I certainly was not, for advice on type matchups and which Pokemon to use. Got a lot of friends this way and helped a lot of beginner trainers out, gaining more confidence along the way. A few weeks before Sword and Shield's releases, my mom had introduced me to podcasts since her favorite show ended and she needed something new to watch. Since Gen 8 was on the horizon, I started searching for Pokemon podcasts, intrigued. It was then that I came across the legendary PUCL podcast and its succulent hosts. That sucks.
Wait, what's the word? I stopped paying attention to reading the email at the same time. Succulent.
Succulent,
Okay.
Kyrie.
Okay.
You've totally used that one on me, by the way.
I might have, yes.
You did.
I cannot confirm. I cannot
Remember
confirm
it.
nor deny.
I will confirm it.
Somebody can go listen to the episode, and it's probably there. Yeah.
No, I guarantee you 1000% it's there.
I
I was
believe
there.
you. Okay.
After
So
each
like,
farm Whimsicott remembers.
okay. So the difference between you and me is the number of episodes I'm on versus the number of
Of
episodes you're on.
course. That's what makes it fun. Like I remember and you don't remember, and I get to make you feel like slightly off for like 3 seconds until you remember that hey, you're not supposed to remember. Anyway,
I don't remember.
um,
People ask me, they're just like, "Do you remember this thing that you just said this week in the podcast?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not."
by the way, and that's the way you phrase that sentence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, listening to that for about a week, I gained about double the knowledge I already had about Pokemon, and I still learn more every week the show comes out. PUCL is a community I'm glad to be a part of, and Pokemon is a hobby I'm honored to share with you all. I'm so glad that I gathered up all my courage to write my first email to you guys back in January, because it's been a blast ever since. The Queen of Arm Coverings, Sleeves. That was
That's
amazing.
silly. That was a good one. I'm a fan.
So
These
good.
are all really good emails though in general.
People brought
I
their
think
A
you
game.
I think you get Trainer Wolf if you want it, Mickey.
Yeah, I'm on them now. Cool. So Trainer Wolf. You said no one listens to the rules of the Poke Quiz, but I do. Well, that's good because
No. Finish reading that sentence. Finish reading that sentence.
And honestly, it weirded me out a few times how the rules work, but I think I understand it now, and I'm pretty sure I got 30 points after last week's quiz.
There we go. There's the answer.
When are we going to get more PTU? I think that's a sublime question.
That's a Sublime / Lydian question.
Yeah.
That's not a Thatch
I
question.
think Sublime's in chat. I don't know if Wolf is in
I don't
chat.
know. I don't know if Wolf's in chat. Sublime's
Yeah.
around. We'll see if he types
Sublime's
anything.
around. He'll be on later today too, I think, so you can ask him
Yeah.
then.
If you're around, Wolf, you can ask him. Yeah.
Check our schedule. I've never written about it before, but I really did enjoy hearing about the Belize region and the heroes' escapades. I really enjoy D&D, but my friends just sort of stopped meeting to play, so I wish I could get back into D&D, but it's hard with no friends left, and the Puckle PTU really filled that gap in a super fun way. Well, I'm sure Sublime and Lydian appreciate that. As for this week's mailbag, to me, the biggest game changer in Pokemon is the box system. Going back to Gen 1 or 2, it is so painful, and it is so much better in Gen 3 when you can actually see which Pokemon are in which box. Yeah, it was rough times. Everything about those early games is really, really, really slow. It's not big, flashy change, but it made a huge difference when you could more easily sort your Pokemon and see what's where. This is especially helpful for collectors, which is pretty much most Pokemon fans, since you can sort Pokemon in order instead of just relying on the box to sort them by capture date. Thatch even mentioned that Gen 3 was the biggest shift in Pokemon because there's so many changes that were made later, such as natures, abilities, and ABs. Also, Thatch was hating on Mega Mints, but dang it, was fantastic for Battle Tower Sweeper.
That's literally why I hate it. That's literally why I hate it, though. Like, that's the answer, right? Like, I hate
Because
it
you made it
because
so
it was
easy?
too good. It was too good.
Yeah.
Like, that was the problem with Mega Salamence, is that it was too good. Why did you give a Pokemon that was already good and make it too good? Like, that was the problem with Mega Salamence.
700
that was the
base
problem.
stat total.
Yeah,
Aerial
I'm
8.
just, like, I had the same problem with Mega Metagross. Like, I think both of those are problems.
Yep. I never got into competitive Pokemon until I started trying a little bit in Gen 8, so I don't know how last generation's competitive scene worked, but Mega Salamence was a ton of fun in the Battle Tower and made perfect team alongside Toxapex and Gliscopod. Personally, I really enjoy the Battle Tower and other single-player challenges, so I was wondering, do you prefer multiplayer or single-player gameplay? Battling hard from a 6-foot minimum social distance as the journey continues. Trainer Wolf. P.S. I'm sorry if I'm a bit rambling in this letter. It's late at night, and I really wanted to type this out while it was fresh in my mind. If you want to cut it down, then that's totally fine by me. We did not. I just haven't written in for quite some time, so I had a lot to say. You and many others, Trainer Wolf, and we thank you.
You and many others. Also, I love that this like really shows who like reads the show notes and listens to the mailbag segment and who just writes in emails without doing either. Like, because so many people answer this like game changer question that definitely wasn't the mailbag question.
Yep.
And I think it's hilarious. But it's still good. I mean, there's still good emails.
We always appreciate them.
I like hearing from people. I get this next one. Here we go. This is okay. I apologize in
Is this
advance
the one?
for the sass. Yeah, I apologize in advance for the sass. Like on YouTube, like those of you. Just because this one gets a little silly. It gets a little silly. I'm gonna read this as written. So some words will be hard for me to pronounce. Hey, my name's Leighton. I've been listening to PUCL since the Swish release, loving the personalities you guys have. Surprised to hear many people don't email, so here we go. This is not really a game changer in terms of. Also, he answered the game changers question. Let's all just keep this in the back of our minds, okay? Just in the back of your mind, remember, he did that. This is not really a game changer in terms of really awesome mechanic, but when Gen 6 came around, I was concerned about the game moving to an 8-directional grid rather than a 4-directional grid, and also moving to 3D models rather than sprite animation. I personally think if Pokemon utilized sprite animation all the way till now, I would be totally okay with that. They clearly struggle with 3D models. I don't disagree. I think Octopath Traveler is a pretty game. I don't know if this is Game Freak's job / decision or Creatures Inc., but I think the franchise would have stayed a little cooler and edgier. At this point in time during Gen 6's release, I really loved the Gen 5 sprites. They had edge, and the earlier Pokemon from the 90s brought. But today's Pokemon kind of have this cutesy vibe. While there's nothing wrong with that, I love the balance between this and the edgier, darker tones, something Gen 5 did well. I really miss the edgier Pokemon. I think Gen 8 has brought some of that back, especially with Dynamaxing and the new forms for the legendary bird trio. What do you think was moving from Gen 6 a bit of a turning point in the wrong direction? Not because of 3D models, maybe other things, but not because of 3D models. Just so you all know, I do love Gen 6, and I'm currently playing it now, but I think 6 and 7 are the weakest gens, with Auras being a redeeming factor of those periods. Apologies for the long email. Maybe this will make for good discussion. Are you ready? Let's all just like prep ourselves real quick because it's a PS.
I mean, it was like a regular email up until this point.
Yeah, isn't it? Okay, so there's a PS. We're gonna read it. We're gonna read it because I think it's hilarious. PS. I'm currently doing my bachelor's in psychological science, honors in parentheses, and I think that she may have a superiority complex, but that's okay. I'm happy to know that it's okay.
Exactly.
I enjoy your.
Thank you so much for giving Thatch permission to be Thatch. That's so kind.
I enjoy your fantastic banter anyway. Haha. Okay, so this is like first of all, he misspelled bachelor's. Then he told me that he had to tell me he was in an honors program. I'm here to tell you that Dr. Thaddeus J. Acel, PhD, doesn't think that you should be diagnosing people from an hour and a half of listening a week. And that maybe, just maybe, I have a slightly exaggerated version of my personality that I put on the show. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
There's something called performance
aren't
mode.
we all exactly the way we are when you listen to the show? Am I not 100% what you hear on the show? Is this not a perfectly natural way of acting?
Like I wouldn't say that like we're like exaggerated on the show, but I would say that we are compared to how we are like off air. I think we're a bit more relaxed off air, if that makes sense. I think that might be. It's hard to describe because I would definitely say that I have to be turned on when I do the podcast, and like there's definitely like a podcast mode versus a not podcast mode. Like there's a performer mode that I go into, and so like that's completely different than who I am as a normal person.
For some of us, there's like several layers to this.
Yes.
According
as well.
to, and it's not even like so. There's Thatch, and then there's Thatch, and then there's Thatch. And then there's, me. And there's me speaking a foreign language, which apparently makes you like a different person. It changes your personality according to the language you're speaking because your brain shifts to another setting and it's weird. And then there's me speaking a foreign language while doing a podcast.
I just thought I don't know, it's just funny. It's funny to me that he's gonna try to diagnose me on that, and I thought that was pretty funny. I also don't exhibit like any of the symptoms of that. So I don't know what he's at. Maybe it's because like I interrupt people and like I run the show and I run the conversation because I'm like the host.
Your job, you mean?
And it's I don't know. Like I don't know if that's it or what. Like we've definitely all had conversations to like make sure that I don't like step on people's toes and stuff like that. So anything you hear on the show, it's not like me interrupting people and trying to be mean about it. It's me just trying to interject and like stir up different conversation and ask questions. So just
have you
as a heads
ever
up,
tried to like interject via like online
it's really hard.
conversation where
It's really hard
also-
online.
it's only audio and there's a delay and stuff.
Yeah, the delay
Oh.
the delay is like very underestimated. I think. I don't think
Thank you.
people quite realize that. Like there is a slight delay. That's enough that like we try to cut out a lot of the interruptions in the show now, but like there's just some that still are there just because like they're saying good things and they did wait for that person to finish speaking.
Yeah.
But there was a
Well, I
delay.
think that's the thing. Like, and I said it now to you, but
Yes,
I
right.
think that's I think that's the thing is you don't see, because the way when you this is their first for people. This is their first time listening to a podcast live as it's
Yeah,
happening,
exactly,
rather than
yeah.
after we've had the time to cut out
Mhm.
the last bits of people speaking, so it's not us cutting each other off because there's quite a bit of that during a recording.
There's a lot.
And you probably
There's a
would've-
lot.
And no one's being rude. It's just you don't know when someone's done speaking, so you kind of just have to interject yourself and get it out there
Exactly.
before the topic
Mhm.
moves in an entirely different direction. So you kind of just
Yeah.
force it in
Like,
there, and then when
I
we cut it
speak
out later,
and I
it looks
say my
fine.
sentence, and then I'm done talking, and P. McGee.
Then there's, like, a
he's
silence
been
or
done
something, yeah.
Talking, and he starts talking, but in the meanwhile, I was silent for like 3 seconds. I didn't hear anyone speaking up because of the delay, and so I start
Yeah.
another sentence, and we talk over each other.
Exactly.
It happens
No, that's exactly
pretty
it.
much every single time.
It happens all of the time. It does happen all of the time. So I'm just throwing it out there, just letting people know. I'm done being negative now. We can read the rest of the good ones. Okay. This next one, you want Mr. Green Skittles?
Sure.
Whimsicott? Yeah, go for it.
Sure,
He's.
sure.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good email. Like this one's fantastic. I regret not reading this one on the show.
Okay, so I'll try to do it justice. Hello, Puckle peeps. Mr. Green Skills here. You know, Thatch likes his compliments, and oh boy, did he earn them though. Here we go. This is a good segue to the. Anyway, thank you and the co-host for the amazing show you produce every week. I love listening
welcome.
to the podcast, and I always recommend it to everyone I think could be interested in a bit more Pokemon. It literally makes Mondays not the worst day of the week anymore. This week, I'm also writing in because I just couldn't ignore the mailbag topic. So, let me tell you a short story about my relationship with Pokemon. When I was 11 or 12 years old, I went to a friend's house once, and we started playing video games on his PC. I remember he didn't have many games, but at some point he opened up an emulator and loaded a ROM of Pokemon Gold. Then, I only knew Pokemon from the anime. Thatch disapproves. Back then, I only knew Pokemon from the anime, which I found to be okay. Nothing to write home about. But the game, I felt it was magic. From that moment on, all I wanted was a Game Boy Color and a Pokemon card. I remember asking my parents for it for my birthday, Christmas, you name it. I even remember offering to have it count for all 1 year round of presents. Sadly, the truth is that we didn't really have much money, and my parents couldn't afford it. Eventually, I gave up and tried to play the game the same way my friend was playing it, with an emulator on an old PC we had at home. Problem was the ROM only got to a point in which you just couldn't keep going because the text would turn into what looked like Japanese. So you pretty much had to
looked
guess what
like.
was happening.
What looked like Japanese.
I like that they're not making assumptions.
That's fair. That's fair.
Of course, this wasn't a solution, so I gave up on this as well. When I turned 14, I started going through the darkest years of my life. I had to deal with loss and abandonment, and pretty much grow up in a very short time. At this point, I kind of changed the way I was. Yes, it was some sort of a coping mechanism. I didn't fully understand that until I got older. Anyways, a few years later, I was 17 years old and I started working. I remember vividly one of my first paychecks went towards a Game Boy Color. God, I used the Atomic Purple model. And at that point, though, Pokemon didn't even cross my mind. I got it with a few Mario games, played not more than 10 hours on it. The Game Boy Color was just a memory of what my mom couldn't give me. You could say some sort of closure. Several years later, I lost it.
Oh.
Throughout the years, I kept playing video games, just different things, and not that much. I'd usually have the current gen PlayStation system, but didn't game too much. It wasn't until 2014, I was 26 years old, and I met one of my best friends to this day. We were talking about games, and he showed me he had a new 3DS and was playing Pokemon Y. I even remember asking back then, wow, are they still coming up with Pokemon games? Just to sum it up, eventually he convinced me to get myself a new 3DS, and I loved it. X, Y, Aura, Sun, Moon. After Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon came out, I was hooked all over again. So now I finally got it. Something had changed along the way, and I guess you could say I forgot who I really was. But this wasn't just about the game, it was about my life in general. I learned it was okay to have scars, to be different and like different things. I even learned to embrace it and changed lots of things in my life. Pokémon Shield in 2019 was the first Pokémon game I was able to get and play on release day, and it won't be the last. I'm in the market for a Game Boy Color, Atomic Purple, to use it as intended by 11-year-old me. Play some Pokemon. Sorry for the long email. I tried to keep it as short as possible. Much love, Mr. Brain Skittles. That was beautiful.
Wasn't it? I'm really upset. I forgot about that one off the top of my head, and we should have read that one on the show, I think.
Yeah.
It was good.
Sorry, Skittles.
Yeah, we apologize. This next one is from... I didn't actually put... Oh, Trainer Gray. That's what it is. Yeah, take it. Take it. He's been in the Discord recently. He's been in the Discord.
He has. I saw him show up a week or two ago, so I know they've been around a little bit.
Yeah.
We're getting lots of trainers.
Lots of trainers. They go with the Trainer
trainers.
Thatch, the coolest person of all. Maybe I should go back to Cool Trainer Thatch to differentiate
Cool Trainer
myself.
Thatch. Yeah.
Cool Trainer Thatch. I'm Cool Trainer Thatch. En's not here to tell me I'm wrong, so it's okay.
Hey, Puckle Crew. Hey, Puckle Crew. Trainer Gray here. I just joined the Discord. Man, my voice is like dying. I just joined the Discord, and they are the nicest people ever. It gives me and my Lucario, Rio, something to do in these dark times of COVID. Since this is my first mailbag, I figured I'd tell you a little about myself. I was born in the same year as Pokemon Platinum, a youngin' then.
Ow.
2009?
My favorite region is that Platinum?
Yeah.
Ooh. Got a
That's
youngin'.
the US release. Yeah, that's 11. You just got to go on your Pokemon journey. Okay, cool.
My favorite region is Kanto, and my favorite Pokemon game is Let's Go. And I know what you're going to say, Thatch, but it's basically the better Pokemon Red and Blue.
Why does everybody think they know what I'm going to say? I am not that predictable. My superiority complex won't let me be. I don't know what I wasn't going to say anything.
Enough about me. You asked how Pokemon has changed my life, and I don't know. And I started Pokemon when I was 5. I couldn't figure out what they were trying to say for a second.
Okay.
With a Reshiram X.
I'm following the timeline.
With a Reshiram X10, and I had it for about 5 minutes before I immediately traded my Reshiram EX for a normal Zekrom, because I thought Zekrom looked cooler.
It does.
You're not wrong. It does. I was definitely happier I picked out Pokemon Black when I was a kid.
Am I the only person here who loves Reshiram over Zekrom?
Yes.
Probably.
Weird.
Yes. I think Zekrom has a cooler design. I tricked so in college, former host of the show, Sarge, was on the show. He and I went to go get like Pokemon Black and White, and I purposely picked Pokemon White so I could get Zekrom. And I was just like, yeah, you want Pokemon Black, and he thought, oh, it's Black version, so it'll have the black legendary in it, and it didn't. So I'm like, yeah, cha-ching. That was the last time Thatch ever got to pick his version of the Pokemon games.
Pokemon has changed my life in different ways, like inspiring me to make my own Pokemon game and helping me find Puckle. I hope you guys have fun things to do, like making your own Pokemon game. With the Discord, you probably keep pretty busy, but on that note, I'd like to say goodbye. Thanks,
Maybe
Trainer Gray.
One day we'll make the Puckle ROM.
The Puckle ROM. I like
We'll
it.
make the Puckle ROM hack.
Which
We'll run
both
around.
of us is your rival, and the trainer
Would you
is
like?
both
Speaking of
back.
Bocephus, is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Is
It's
that?
probably my turn.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is
it's
there
my
anything
turn.
left?
Cool. Yeah. There's yes. The answer is yes.
Of course
This
there
one
are.
is from our good friend Bocephus himself. Um, good time of day to you, Puckle onions, with an onion emoji. He even did that. Thanks, bud. How you been? I love the question this week, and I could go on for days about how Pokemon has affected my life, from the amazing journeys I've had outside the game to the thousands of dollars dropped on the TCG, to the lifelong friends I've made, to the Pokeball-shaped cattle brand on my I digress. One short story I would like to share was I was talking with my friend Haley about the show, and I discovered that I shared a living quarters with all three of the hosts last week separately. Thatch had me post at his house several times. I've been to like 3 different places you've had. Whimsicott hosted my girlfriend and I for a few days when we toured Italy last fall, and Claude and I shared an Airbnb for PuckleCon 4. Anyways, thanks for the amazing show. I can't wait till Red beats Team Rona, and I get to see you all at PuckleCon 6, maybe. Love, Bo.
Love you, Bo.
I love you, Bo. There's one more. Mega Flygon. His name is Mega Flygon. I'm into it.
I need it. I need it.
Do it.
Has to be
Do it.
mine.
It's yours.
Hi, Thatch, an incontestably magnificent co-host. Why, thank you. This is Mega Flygon, writing in for the first time ever to answer the last mailbag. How has Pokemon changed my life? I started Pokemon a long while ago with the TCG. At Christmas, my parents got me a stack of around 150 random Pokemon cards. I brought them to school as soon as Christmas break had ended, and found out that several people, both within and outside of my friend circle, had an interest in Pokemon. I made 4 new friends that have expanded my view on the world and helped me to grow as a responsible person. Eventually, I learned that Pokemon also made video games, not just trading card games. Yes, I did not know that Pokemon made video games. I thought they were a company that only made trading cards. I know that it's stupid of me. Anyways, I got into video games starting with Let's Go Pikachu and have made my way to Sword and Shield. Right now, I am working on completing the decks with one of those friends. That's enough for now. Mega Flygon signing off.
Wonderful. There we go. See,
You're
now
not
we did all the
stupid.
emails, and I don't feel bad. We did them all.
And this is a good reminder about why we can't read all the emails, because look how much time it took.
Yeah, no. So, like, if you look at some of the older episodes before Whimsicott was on the show, she was part of the problem.
I'm
She was
sure
part
I
of the
don't know
problem.
what you're talking about.
She was part of the problem, and and so we used to make like a point of like reading every single email, and it was getting to the point where we were getting like 14, 16 emails a week.
Honestly,
And it would
the only
just be
reason
45
I'm
minutes.
Here, the only reason I'm here right now
That's-
is
that's
because
true.
you used to read every single email, and so Scissor Kick and Bo had to read my long ass email the first time I wrote in. And I was like, wait, they actually read my email? These guys
Yeah.
are cool, and I want to hang out with them.
That's true. I do feel really bad that we can't do that anymore. It's just not realistic. It's not feasible
No,
anymore.
No, it's not.
If we were if we would have had these 12 emails on the show, I mean, it would have been a 45-minute segment. And that's without us discussing. It's just us reading.
Yeah.
And it's just not as fun. But thank you to those of you who watch this on YouTube. Thank you to those of you that are still in the chat hanging out with us. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to come right back with you, and we're going to start doing some battles. I'm going to hang out with Claude for a little bit. We're going to do some VGC laddering, and it's going to be a good time. So thanks everybody again. Yeah, we'll catch you. We'll catch you in like 5-ish minutes. Like I have to go downstairs and get my Switch. So we'll be right back.
I'm
Let me play some
now,
music.
but-
I'm gonna play some music. That's fine. No worries.